Hey, welcome back to IF4 Friends Gaming. And on this episode of Vtol History, we'll be talking about the CIA's attempts to quiet the U-2. But first, if you like my content, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing and checking out the Patreon. So back in July of 1956, an A-100 radar station was tracking a U-2 as it flew over Smolensk on its way to Moscow. Now this had the CIA just a little confused as they thought at 70,000 feet or 21,000 meters, the U-2 would be invisible to Soviet radar stations. But the CIA had forgot to tell the Soviets about that, so they were tracking it anyways. A month later, a team of advisors consisting of a Nobel laureate, the founder of Polaroid, and the then head of Lockheed Skunk Works was assembled to examine the problem of the U-2's observability. And after spending some time at the MIT Lincoln Laboratory, finding a radar expert, they started on their R&D. They came up with two ways, either absorbing the radar energy, or creating reflections that interfered with the reflections from the aircraft, and worked those into the U-2 with a few modifications. The first being the wallpaper. A special conductive pattern was printed onto a flexible sheet called a grid that was then glued to a honeycomb that was then applied to the aircraft. It was intended to be effective against higher frequency radars, but the disadvantage of the wallpaper was that it was a thermal insulator and it trapped heat in the fuselage, so it was suboptimal. The next was the trapeze. To reduce radar reflections from the edge of the wings, a special wire was installed and attached to fiberglass poles at the wingtips and the slipper tanks. To protect the engine inlet, another wire ran diagonally from the nose to the slipper tanks of each wing. And last, wires with tuned ferrite beads were strung horizontally from the nose of the aircraft to the tail, and horizontally from the leading edge to the trailing edge of the vertical stabilizer. The wires and trapeze installation caused the U-2 about 5,000 feet of altitude, or 1,500 meters, and about 20% of its range. The pilots called it being wired like a guitar. I hope you enjoyed this episode of VTOL History, and I hope to see you for the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.